Welcome to the RSP Film Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today we're going to take an extended look at Brad Kaaya, the quarterback out of Miami. And there's some fun things to look at with Kaaya because from a technique standpoint, he's a pretty fundamentally sound quarterback. Even though he plays in an offense that has a lot of spread looks, he also plays under center. So you get a lot of different things that you can see about his game and how it may project to a variety of offenses in the NFL. And it gives you kind of a clear idea of what he can and can't do than maybe some other quarterbacks that we're going to be studying over the course of this winter. So let's just start off with this play. This is a chance to look at a little bit of his intermediate to deep arm. And it's a 2nd and 8. You're going to see this with a 4-3 look. You got your twin receivers on the right side. 3-step drop, hitch, throw. Nice air under the ball, in stride to his receiver. May have been able to get that ball out a little more in front of his slot receiver. But again, look at where this ball is thrown. We're looking at about the 38. Nice step through, nice little hip turn through it. You also got to like the over the shoulder release. I also like the little look off first to the inside and to the safety before looking back to the outside. But look at that step through, front leg out. Ball is high up by his shoulder as he begins the release. Right over there, just lays it right over, flicks the wrist. Got some nice arc on the ball here. Gives a chance for the receiver to run under it. And from the 38 to about, the 24, 23, maybe 22, depending on how you look at where he caught that ball. And you're looking at you're looking at from pitch to catch. A pass that covers about 42 yards in the air from the opposite hash to the far outside flat. Now, that wasn't a power throw, but there's good enough arm strength on that throw to get that there. That's pro caliber arm right there with what he's doing immediately. So you got to like that about him and what he has to offer for you in terms of even just his arm talent. I also like the fact that you can see him under center, and one of the things that he does extremely well is exhibit play fakes. And Mark Richt trained quarterbacks, one thing that you can say about them on a frequent basis is that for them to start and to be good, they master the play action passing game. And they master your 1, 3, 5, and 7-step drops and how to execute a variety of play fakes and bootlegs out of this. And this is one of the great bootlegs. We looked at this play earlier with David Njoku out of Miami, who makes an excellent play for the touchdown on this. But let's look at it from the standpoint of Kaaya, because you're looking at again at probably more like a 4-3 look or maybe a nickel. If you look at this defender's maybe a hybrid who's playing a lower safety here. And watch this play fake. First you have 2 hands on the ball and the extension with 2 hands. When you get this to begin with, it becomes a very believable play fake, because usually when you're holding on to the ball with 2 hands like that, it demonstrates a pretty good commitment, especially with the way he's lunging forward. He's got the arms out there. He's committed to making this exchange. And then the arm comes off as he begins to hide the ball into the chest, and the other arm passes through as if he just finished handing it off. Little, sleight of hand here. And you can see you've got this defensive end coming into the inside of the tight end. You even have this, whether it's the outside linebacker or safety, he's moving inside. Most of the line's moving inside. And one of the things that Kaaya does to make this happen is he has his head turned downfield. Where his eyes are looking and what he's doing with his hands and that entire motion leading up to this point all says he handed the ball off. And even finishing it through here and not getting too quick or sloppy with how he acts out the play fake really sells this. And I'm going to tell you why it's important that he sells this play in a minute, because watch now what happens when he makes his turn. It's going to be a very quick turn for Kaaya. Look at that snap. Snaps his head, turns his body around almost immediately. The defensive end is still looking to chase the running back here, and you have these defenders sucked around. And here's Njoku. Njoku is about to work out into the flat. Kaaya is already in position to throw this ball. If Kaaya wastes some time or takes more time than needed to get his body around and feet set to throw this ball, he's going to give these defenders near the hash an opportunity to turn around and recover and or at least make it difficult for Njoku to get around to the end without encountering some opposition from backside pursuit. But this excellent play fake and the snap turn and quick throw off of a couple of steps gives Njoku the chance to catch the ball and just turn right upfield. And the rest is what we saw earlier in an earlier film room. Just great athletic ability there and good speed, knowing how to run the ball. But that quick turn and then just a quick flick right on the back shoulder lets him run downfield. A lot of this is Kaaya. Now, I really like this play from Brad Kaaya because when you take a look at the pre-snap read, you've got a linebacker coming off the edge here. You've got a four-man front, two deep, and Kaaya knows that he's going to have an opening probably up this left seam with Njoku one-on-one with the safety, and he doesn't hesitate here. And that's what you like about good quarterback play, is that if you read the defense correctly, there's no reason to play around. Take what you can get as fast as you possibly can, especially if it's going to be a deeper throw. And this is exactly what happens here. You're going to see that partially with him getting the ball, looking upfield, and he sees exactly what he wants. That this linebacker is coming, that Njoku is working up the seam, and he's got a one-on-one with the safety, which is a nice mismatch. And he's not going to waste time. He's going to I think he actually adjusts his drop here. Instead of taking your typical three-step drop, one step, a hop, and throw. That's an adjustment to me. Post-snap adjustment with your drop. And unless I'm missing something here, that this is a standard type of drop, and it may be, but it's a standard type of drop that you would take to set up quickly, and not the kind where you maybe cross your steps on a typical three-step drop that we think of. This tells you that mentally, Kaaya sees what he needs to and gets rid of the ball fast. This turns into, a big gain to get across midfield. Another consistent hallmark of Kaaya's game is his ability to look off the middle of the defense and do it quickly on short drops so that he holds defenders in place and it gives him a chance to maximize his one-on-one opportunity with perimeter players. And you're going to see that here on this 2nd and 7 at the 10 for the second touchdown of the day for Kaaya. Look at that initial step. That first step, he's looking at these defenders in the middle of the field and he's holding them in place. And he keeps it there for about 2 steps before finally taking that third step, pivoting, and then makes the delivery. And look at the height of his release here. Now this blitz from this linebacker off the left side doesn't get anywhere near Kaaya to really hurt this throw, but you can see that he's got a pretty good release point that is helpful, especially, he's 6'4", got that nice high release. Ball's thrown only where the receiver is going to be able to make the catch, which is really between he and the boundary, and he hits the pylon, makes the catch. It's initially not signaled as a touchdown right here, but you're going to see it. I'm going to watch this replay in a second here. Really nice catch by Richards here. Now, does the ball go into the pylon? I think it does. If this is a touchdown, we'll look at the next play in a minute here if it isn't. It's pretty close. It's a really nice throw, though. I like the placement of it. I like the zip on the ball. And it's a first down. and then he gets a chance to make a play again later on here. But you like the high delivery, you like the look off in the middle, the technique, a lot of good things to work with Kaaya based on what we're seeing in this game and also other games that we'll talk about maybe down the line. And this is a beauty of a play when you talk about just a fade route. Look at this. From the first step, 2 steps actually, and he takes his third and the ball is out. And the whole time he's pivoting to that left side. Ball's already cocked and ready to go, and the receiver is still in the beginning of his release. This is a 4-step release that Stacy Coley's going to make here in the left flat. And when he does release, the ball's already in the air. So the ball's being thrown basically to a spot, and it's a beautiful touch. It gets exactly where Coley plans to be, and there's enough air under the ball here. Just lay that ball up there. Look at how that ball is just floating, where it's not diving down. The base of the ball is floating like a blimp in the air, and it's like just descending to the receiver there. That's nice touch on a fade route here. It's not dying, flying all the way down. You know, sometimes it's not bad if the point is coming down, but you can just see how nice, this nice fat ball coming down to the receiver. And look at Coley high point and turn immediately upon making the catch. And he's wrapped and still gets control of the ball. It's just an excellent play. See if we can get a close-up of it. You know how they like to do these close-ups here, thanks to our buddies here at Draft Breakdown. Get that nice throw, nice fat ball coming down for him. Very good turn to shield. Good concentration. Oh yeah, just in case you thought Kaaya got lucky on that corner fade. Look at this fat ball he throws here. Even after a little bobble of the snap, he gets the ball off, and look at that ball. Look at it. It's kind of floating down. Even as it comes down with a downward trajectory, it doesn't come straight down on the point. You can see it still coming down with that fat end of the ball landing towards the receiver, and right where the receiver is able to turn inside out to try and catch the ball. Now the question might be, was this bobbled snap here a problem with the overall accuracy? Would he have gotten rid of this ball a little sooner, and maybe the receiver wouldn't have had to turn, and maybe this throw would have been further in one direction or another? I would say the answer is no. I think that Kaaya was throwing to a spot, and the receiver was working towards the ball, and then once he got within a range of where that ball's supposed to be, he's going to make his adjustment. And it just was a better play by the defensive tackle to punch the ball out, because look at it just land in his hands, and then it's just punched out at the end. And it is pouring down rain. Look at that, just in his hands as it's being punched out. The other thing I like about Kaaya that you should notice in the red zone, because we've seen a few plays of his already in the red zone, is getting that ball into a tight window in a compressed area and doing it decisively. You have to do that in the end zone. You have to think quick, you have to act quick, you have to be precise with those actions. You can see that here. One step, he's set, rub route, and he gets it to the outside shoulder. Just enough outside for the touchdown. Now, was it a perfect placement of an outside ball? I'd be picky. I bet Bill Walsh would be picky about this one. Bill Walsh would probably have made it do it about 3 or 4 more times to where the ball was probably, a little bit further outside. But it's a very good throw, and it's done in a timely fashion. And Njoku is going to be celebrating with his buds in the rain here. But you have a little bit of an interference penalty, which didn't really help the situation here. But still, from a placement perspective, and if it weren't for Coley interfering here on the rub route, not bad. Gives Njoku time to cover up too. Let's talk about perceiving pressure, because that's a really big negative for quarterbacks. Because if a quarterback worries about pressure and he drops his eyes from coverage or overreacts to what he feels in the pocket, he might not ever get anything done other than some short gains, especially when you're a quarterback like Kaaya, who isn't a great runner. He's more of a pocket guy who has, functional mobility, I guess would be the nicest way to say it. And I would say I am being nice about that. So we're going to watch this play, because it's going to be this left defensive end working on the tight end, and this running back's going to help out. But watch this play and tell me if you can blame Kaaya. Now you're Kaaya dropping back, and you see out of the periphery the flash of this white jersey whipping your tight end. Now you're looking downfield to see if your first read's open. When you set your feet and it's not open and you're not throwing, and you saw that flash of white back there, and you know your running back is the guy handling the defensive end who just whipped the tight end, are you going to trust that block? That's the question you have to ask yourself, and be honest about your answer. I gotta be honest with you, I probably wouldn't trust that block. I would probably think, even though I only saw that flash of white out of the periphery, I need to scoot my way a little bit more to the right. Now you saw Kaaya flash, that give a little bit of a flash of a turn of his head to the left to go, is he coming? Because that's what he was looking at. He didn't trust his blindside blockers there, even though they've got it handled really well, thanks to good position by the running back and then the wing back working back to help out. But he can't see that, and he's not going to turn and look to see that while he's trying to look downfield and throw the ball in rhythm. So do you criticize Kaaya for perceiving pressure on this play? I'm going to say no, but I'll give a little asterisk to that answer and say, if I see more plays like this where he's making a reaction to pressure that didn't come, then I'm going to have to note it, and it might be something that is worrisome. But at this stage, I have to say it was justifiable. And then we're going to see his mobility, which is, he can gain a first down in a wide open space on a play like this. Something that he might not be able to do in another 8 or 9 years once he's in the NFL that long, if he's in the NFL that long. He's got more of that kind of old-time Peyton Manning movement, but a little faster than that. How about some work from the opposite hash? We've got some of that too going on here. We're going to watch Stacy Coley on the left side here. And watch Kaaya. 3 steps, look in that direction, hitching once. And you got to think that he saw the flash of this edge defender coming around here. Probably about right here, seeing that flash. He stays in there because he's holding his water against that left tackle, which is good. I think that that's probably a good sign that he's not someone that perceives pressure too often. A little hinge step, and then fires that ball. And we're talking about a 22-yard throw from far hash to opposite sideline, just ahead of a trailing defender and a defender coming over top. So while that's an open window, and it's a pretty big open window, it's not wide open. It's a good throw. Pretty good power on that throw. Now let's look at another throw like this, where he's got to get the ball out in a hurry. Right here. And what I like about this play is, once again, shows opposite hash velocity, and he's doing it this time from under center for a 3-step drop. He gets rid of the ball in a hurry against this strong side linebacker blitzing around the tight end. 3-step drop, set, ball is about to come out. And he drives that ball well enough that you're looking at, I would say, close to a 20-yard throw here. Opposite hash. gets it there on time. So, these aren't, you know, elite quarterback throws at the pro level, but what you see here is that Brad Kaaya has an NFL arm, and he can make all the throws if you give him time in the pocket, let him drop, set his feet, and deliver the ball. Tom Brady, he can do pretty much the same thing when you ask him to do that. Ask him to move off his spot. He's not such a great thrower at that point. Now, Matthew Stafford can do trick shots with all the things that he does as a thrower, but being a great quarterback and being a great thrower are two different things. Stafford's figuring that out a little bit more as he's aging. Guy under pressure, that's something that we're going to want to see a little bit more of, because watching this play, I'm going to slow it down right away, because it's not about the quality of the throw as far as what he does here, because he overthrows his pass by about 3 or 4 yards into the end zone. It's about a 40-yard pass from pitch to catch, maybe even a little longer than that. But I like the drop, the look, the slide to the left. But as you see number 5, the defensive end coming around the left tackle, look at Kaaya's release. He steps into the throw, but you can see he just lifts that leg up rather than really brings the entire body around as much as maybe he should. It's kind of like he truncated his release pattern just enough because he was anticipating this hit off the left side. And when you do that, you're going to wind up throwing an inaccurate pass. So while I like that he's standing into the pressure, you can see him kind of shirk away there. He didn't want to fully expose himself in the way that his normal throwing process would, and you could see it in the body language of the release that it had a little bit of a hitch in the giddy up there. He's protecting himself. And the ball has plenty of distance on it, but it's just not enough on a line, and part of that is he's not getting over that ball as much as he could have, but he was worried about getting hit. So it's going to be something to watch a little bit more with him. This is kind of one of those negatives where you just say, hey, look, if under pressure, he might not be great for you under pressure in terms of throwing the ball and delivering it on an accurate basis. At least that's what we've seen in this game. We'll see other games as well, whether that's the case. And there are good quarterbacks in the NFL who, frankly, aren't that great under pressure, but if you surround them with enough talent, they can be awesome players. Talk about knocking Tom Brady off his spot on a regular basis. You do that with any quarterback, they tend to deliver inaccurate passes like this in the league. You can file this play under the category, hey, what more do you want from Brad Kaaya? Watch him drop from center. Look to his left initially on this play. You could even see that the safety was moving a little bit more to the inside from the right hash. Finishes his drop looking right, hitches once, steps into the throw. While it's not a laser, doesn't have a high amount of arc, it's thrown high enough for the receiver to high point and turn outside to catch, but lets the ball bounce off his hands. It's a good throw, good placement, but when you let the ball bounce off your helmet and your chest rather than your hands, that can be a bit of a problem. Bounced it off his helmet right there. Here's another lingering question about perceiving pressure. Again, these are borderline plays. I'm not really sure I would count this against Kaaya, but it's something that I'm keeping my eye on as I watch him a little bit more. Watch number 5 come around, left tackle, trying to split left tackle, right tackle and right guard. Number 5 right here. Kaaya drops back 3 steps, looks to the right, sees that the cover 3 is covering both these outside twin receivers, and the reaction he has to move quickly and slide to the left, that's calm. All of that's very calm, except for this quick turn. And I don't even know if I feel like I'm nitpicking this. So again, this is why, when you watch film, you want to see multiple viewings, and there may not be a direct answer with everything here with it. If I were gonna make a call on this play, I would say he handled it well, because you watch this play, you see the defensive tackle split these two linemen. He looks downfield. He probably feels this pocket compressing a little bit towards him. And because he saw that nothing was wide open right away, plenty of time to see it, he turns to his left, turns to his next progression. And I like that. Look how calm he is sliding. That's a pretty calm slide. Watch it one more time. He's just quick and decisive about what he's going to do. And when he realizes that this outlet's covered, he just throws the ball away. This is the first ball I've seen him throw away. It's also the first situation where I haven't seen him find someone open and he felt like that his clock was running out. And it was, as you can see that defender working upfield here. So overall, it's a good play. But I still have some lingering questions about maybe how he perceives pressure, if he does. Right now, I'd say the answer is no. He doesn't perceive pressure, but there were some iffy situations that required me to look at it a little bit more. Here's another smart play. Only needs one step, realizes that the pressure has beaten this right tackle. Two edge defenders get past the right tackle here. Watch this as we get back to the play. This right tackle goes inside. These two guys are unblocked. Kaaya sees this immediately, sidearms the ball, takes a hit, but just sidearm it out of bounds. Now, why isn't this a grounding penalty? He's at the edge of the left hash. I guess the officials decided that he was out of the pocket and he could throw that ball that way. It was a smart play if the penalty isn't called. It doesn't look like it was. Here's a play that you could discuss with a number of people and see what their opinions are. And I think it's one of those things that you have to do sometimes. It's a first and goal play. They're at the 8 of Pitt. And he's going to be looking at the tight end and this outside single receiver. And the key player that we're going to be looking at is this safety at the goal line here between the hash and the numbers of the right flat. As he takes a snap, he looks upfield. As you can see, he's looking to that safety. And really what he may be looking at is this tight end open, or can I move this safety? And when he takes that, when he finishes his drop here at the top, the safety is working inside. You can see the safety's turned away. At this point, I'd like to see Kaaya, once he gets that hop, the ball should be coming out of his arm. Right here, he had him open. He had this outside receiver open, because there's no way with this safety's back turned that he's going to get there if Kaaya's got his hand coming around to throw this ball right now. But he does not trust his key. He should have seen that key. This is what I think. He should have seen this key right here. He should have seen it even earlier. Let's look at it one more time. Right here, he should see that the receiver, that the defensive back is heading this direction. He should know this based on the body language there, and that means I can plant my feet and let that ball come out. But he doesn't do that, and in a compressed space like that, it's done. He realizes that and knows that it's time for him to run. It's a smart play by Kaaya to run, because at this point he wasn't going to force this ball in there, and this is covered now. So he takes what he can get. He's not much of a runner, as you can see. 4-yard gain. There you go. But just like Deshaun Kaiser in an earlier video that I talked about, where you have to really be good with your reaction time and you have to see things quickly and react on it fast. Kaaya didn't do this here when he had the touchdown. A pro caliber veteran is going to see this right here and go, when this back foot hits, the ball's coming out, and I'm hitting 82 right up this seam for the score. Now, the only other thing that you might argue with is, where's he going to place the ball? Is he going to place it inside where number 14 might undercut it? Or is he going to place it a little bit more outside? And that receiver knows he's not getting the ball, so he turns back to the outside on a scramble drill. So just some things worth noting and talking about with people. You know, you can see, what do you think really should have happened on this play? This would have been one of those that I felt like right here, if the ball's coming out, he could have led the receiver a little further inside, because this defender's no way turning around and making it, because the ball would be about a step away from him catching it. If he's right here, he'd catch it, probably take a little bit of a hit, if at all, instead of breaking and running. Those are the types of things that you want to look for here. Is this a major error on his part? No. Is it something that he's going to have to work on if he wants to be proficient in the end zone and the red zone as a pro? Yes. Will that make it a major issue for him if he can't do it in the pros? Yes, because the margin for error is that tight in the NFL. But it's not something that you look at now and say, is it a red flag for him as an NFL prospect at the quarterback position today? Absolutely not.
In many respects, Kaaya is a technically sound quarterback. We've seen that in a lot of ways already. But watch this against internal pressure. He's going to drop looking up the left hash. First step, second step looking up, start to turn on the third step. And as he turns on the third step, the looping end gets around the right guard. And Kaaya looks like he's about to consider a throw here. He's got his feet planted. Slow it down a little bit at this point so that you can really see it. He starts to get it. He gets that other hand on the ball. He likes to pat the ball before he's about to throw. He's bringing that ball up, and he feels that pressure coming from the inside. This is interior pressure. And what I like here is that he doesn't immediately shirk and duck down. He hitches one step. Well, maybe he does shirk down a little bit, but he hitches a step to get away. And at this point, he's able to pull through and dive under to get a yard. It's not bad. I like that he waits a little bit, though, from right here. He feels that pressure. He's able to make the appropriate technical maneuver, even though I'd like to see him kind of hitch through and do it a couple times, but he made the right decision because he anticipated that it was going to be a close call and he was going to get wrapped, and he did. He had to pull through that. So taking off, again, a smart idea. So far what I'm seeing from Kaaya is some close calls where he's making some good judgments against pressure. I just want to see more of him against pressure, where he can actually climb a pocket and deliver the ball accurately under pressure from interior defenders. Recurring pattern in this game is that he doesn't force things, and I love that about him as a quarterback. You can see it right here. He looks for an open man, and when he sees the drop, he doesn't throw it, and he shouldn't have thrown it before. When he looks, he sees that open man, and maybe he could have thrown it here, but if he did, by the time the ball gets here, it's probably going to wind up getting cut off. So he doesn't do that. Now he's got the pressure in his face, and what does he do? Throw the ball away. Smart play. Once again, Kaaya doesn't have a killer arm, but it's a good arm. And this is an example of a good arm for an NFL quarterback. I mean, it's NFL quarterback caliber arm. Watch this drop back. Three-step drop, and he's firing the ball, say from the 45, 46 of Miami. And this ball arrives in stride, and the receiver does not break stride. If anything, he leans outside where the ball is placed only where he can catch it. He catches his ball at the 10 or at the 9. So you're looking at essentially about a 45, 46 yard throw from the right hash to the opposite outside flat. It's a pretty play. On point deep throw right there, baby. That's enough for a successful NFL play, especially when you let your receiver run under it and throw it only where he's going to catch it. Let's see if they can show another version of that. There you go. Yeah, that works. Now look at this follow-up here. He's going to drop back, and we're going to see this rub route again. Remember the rub route before where Njoku worked to the right and Coley interfered here, and he made the touchdown catch with the safety on his back, but it was the interference by the offensive player nullified the play. Well, they're going to go back to this play. This time, though, look at what Kaaya reads. He's got his feet back. He sees his safety screaming across here. He doesn't want to put the ball here. He leads him further downfield, so he gets Njoku to work across or work up the sideline a little bit more. Instead of it being a back shoulder play, it's a front fade. It's placed only where Njoku can make the play, and it's a beautiful play by Njoku, one-handed catch. So what you're looking at here is Kaaya making the diagnosis based on the safety and deciding right here, how, or just a split second before, where he's going to throw the ball, and that determines how Njoku's going to break on the ball. And he leads Njoku up the sideline for his 4th touchdown of the game, putting this game away pretty much. You can see there's interference on the play from the safety coming across, but it's a pretty play. Once again, it's a pretty ball, good touch on it, gives Njoku time to actually adjust his body, and that's part of what good touch does for you, is that it's an off-speed pitch. And that off-speed pitch gives the receiver the opportunity to make a little more concerted effort or calculated play in terms of how he positions his body and his hands. It's a very confident throw and a quick thinking throw based on the read of the defender. This is the kind of nuance that is the difference between a good starter in the NFL and maybe a not so good starter or a backup or an average player. This is kind of the things that I'm working my way through here. Watch this play action fake. Got the play action fake with a little boot, that's nice. He's got his receiver releasing on the crossing route. And right here, he sees that route. That's what he's looking for. But this linebacker's in the way. Now, you can't blame him for deciding to go somewhere else right here. But if he was a bit more patient, he might have been able to toss this ball over the linebacker and just loop it into this wing back here and gotten the first down. But now he's forced to climb, run, get sacked. You just wonder if maybe a starting level quarterback in the NFL either has more confidence to hit this throw or is just a little more patient. But you also have to understand that he was rolling into 2 unblocked defenders here, and then he feels that backside defender as soon as he turns. So again, these are plays worth discussion, not necessarily ones that you're going to judge completely here. I would probably say I would have liked to see a little more patience, but it's tough to mark him down for it. So there you have it, an extended look at Brad Kaaya, Miami's quarterback, who's coming out for the NFL draft. You see a pocket passer be able to work under center, do some work with play action, can fit it into tight windows, does pretty well in the red zone. You see some nice things from him. I think he's got a long career as an NFL quarterback. Even if he doesn't make that transition to becoming a good starter, I think that he has what it takes to become a long-term backup in the league, at the very least.
But I think there's more here for Kaaya, especially if he's got talent around him, because there's a lot of nice throws on his portfolio. And I think that, you see overall a pretty technically sound player, I think is going to continue to grow. Thanks again for watching. Check out more of my RSP Boiler Room and Film Room videos on my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room. You should subscribe to that too. Give it a shot. I think you're going to find a lot of good work there. You should also check out my blog, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com. I know you're going to find some good stuff there. Brad Kaaya, definitely some good stuff here. It's made a lot of draft picks look pretty good over the past couple of years. Keep that in mind.